Good morning, fellow classmates. For this week's significant presentation, I have decided to choose the Mauryan Empire / dynasty. This dynasty was said to be found in 324 BCE, meaning before Common Era. Before taking this course, I have never heard and or discussed about the dominating empire until now. After watching the class video and reading about ancient India's culture in chapter 2, I thought it would be a great choice for me to pick. I found the Mauryan Empire to be strong, loyal, and traditional. The kind of tribe that protected all women and children and held their sons to the highest honor of joining the army to serve and protect, just like generations before them. For a period, the Mauryan Empire was conquered most of India. After reading, I now have a better understanding as to why the Indian culture holds the elephant as a sacred animal. The Mauryan Empire army treated the elephants like soldiers and held them to the highest standard. I admired the customs when it came to taking care of the elephants. The law of the land was if the elephant died due to neglect, then it was a soldier's life that was held responsible. Moving forward, I have found it interesting to read about the Mauryan leader. Excuse my pronunciation, but I believe it's pronounced Chandragupta Maurya. He took over after Alexander the Great and drove out Greek administrators who had remained thereafter. In the text, it states that there was so little to be known about the Mauryan leader, but what was recorded I found very interesting. For starters, this royal leader was so paranoid that he had all food tasted in his presence before eating. Interesting. And on that note, he made a practice of never sleeping in the same bed in his sumptuous palace. If you think about it, only one could imagine the stress toll on him. When looking at the women's role in the empire, they stood by the law of Manu, which in simplest terms states the respect of women is the responsibility of men. However, at the same time, it is also made clear that the practice of women is to be remain in their home. Now, for women to stay home and take care of young ones holds true to parts of India today, but it is slowly changing over time because nowadays Indian women are allowed to attend college and hold a job occupation. When looking at the economy of India, the empire was mainly farm-based. However, they had one invention that would rule all of India and that would help them with their farming, which was the iron plow. The invention of the iron plow seemed to be a hot item for them to use. It spread across northern India like wildfire. The Mauryans thanks the Aryans for creating this invention. It helped with croplands from spreading from the Indus Valley further eastward to the Ganges River Valley, which eventually spread to the coastal plains. Like most farmers, there were positives and negatives. However, after reading, it seemed to me like there was more negatives than positives. For starters, every farmer was hit with heavy state taxes. Most farmers that lived in India were not farm owners. They're more like farm laborers, sharecroppers, things like that. The biggest challenge for the farmers was the climate change. With India being so hot and so dry, there was only certain items that they could grow there. Items such as the wheats, the grains, little bits of vegetables, certain fruits, um, because one day it was hot and then the next it would be hot and heavily rained. Overall, after the videos, the readings, in chapter 2, I have found it to be very interesting. Reflecting off of this, I can't imagine that lifestyle then, and I can't imagine what my place would be in that empire at that time. However, it is fascinating to me on how big the empire was and how it grew and was formed, and how everyone knew their place and eventually made it work, even though there was some negatives within it, like slavery, things like that. To imagine how it all came together is just mind-boggling. So I thought this week I would reflect on this significance, because I did find it very, very significant. Thank you.